As-salaam wa-alaikum, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Year 6 of the 17 Verses podcast. I'm your host, Maher Haq. In this podcast, we take a small selection from the Quran every day and recite it to you in plain English, so you can get a small slice of God's Word while you go about your day. By averaging 17 verses per day, we're able to break the Quran down into manageable pieces and finish it in 1 year. If you enjoy the podcast, please help spread the word. Tell your friends and family, subscribe in iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you get your podcasts, and write us a review. Show notes and a text episode can be found at 17verses.com. That's the numbers 17verses.com. Today's selection is the entirety of Surah 87, Al-Ala, or the Most High, verses 1 through 19. The argument of this surah is that God has made man capable of progress by ordered steps, and by his revelation will lead him still higher to purification and perfection. Tafseer for this selection concerns the path of Islam mentioned in verse 8, and the admonitions to be given in verse 9. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Glorify the name of your Lord, the Most High, who has created all things and perfected them, who has set their destinies and guided them, who brings forth green pasture, then reduces it to black rubbish. Soon we shall make you recite our revelations, so you shall forget none of them, except what Allah wills. Surely He knows what is open and what is hidden, and we will make it easy for you to follow the simple path. Therefore, give admonition in case the admonition profits the hearer. He who fears Allah will heed the reminder, and he who is unfortunate will avoid it. The one who will avoid shall burn in the gigantic fire, where he shall neither die nor live. The one who will take admonition and purify himself shall be successful, who remembers the name of his Lord and prays. But, O men, you prefer the life of this world, while the hereafter is better and everlasting. Surely the same was said in the earlier scriptures, the scriptures of Abraham and Moses. Ameen. Now concerning the path of Islam in verse 8. Quote, the path of Islam is simple and easy. It depends on no abstruse mysteries or self-mortifications, but on straight and manly conduct in accordance with the laws of man's nature as implanted in him by Allah. On the other hand, spiritual perfection may be most difficult, for it involves complete surrender on our part to Allah in all our affairs, thoughts, and desires. But after that surrender, Allah's grace will make our path easy. Unquote. Next, concerning the admonitions to be given in verse 9. Quote, this is not so strong as the biblical phrase, cast not pearls before swine, in the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 6. The cases where admonition does produce spiritual profit and where it does not are mentioned in verse 10 and 11 through 13, respectively. Allah's message should be proclaimed to all, but particular and personal admonitions are also due to those who attend and in whose hearts is the fear of Allah. In the case of those who run away from it and dishonor it, such particular and personal admonition is useless. They are the unfortunate ones who prepare their own ruin. Unquote. Thank you. This concludes today's episode of the 17 Verses podcast. I hope that this selection helps increase your understanding of the Holy Quran just a little bit. If you like the podcast, you can subscribe in iTunes or Stitcher and write us a review. Or you can grab the RSS feed and put it into your own podcast app. The show notes, including a text version of this episode, can be found by going to 17verses.com. That's the numbers 17verses.com. Thank you, and be well.